Hello friends, it's Friday, May 8th. It's the 10th day of sketching together. Welcome back. I hope you had a great day. Yesterday we sketched birds, so I'm going to show you my bird today, and we're going to talk today about togetherness, drawing togetherness. On Monday at the start of the week we drew loneliness, and today we're now coming to the other end of that, and we're going to talk about togetherness. So first I wanted to show you some of the things I've been working on. My sketchbook. So I had worked on the cover last week, or the back cover last week, and then this week I found a sticker from U.S. Postal Stamps. They're running a Sesame Street 50th anniversary stamp collection, and so I took that from there, as well as the Sesame Street sign, and then I felt like there were characters missing from this great lineup of characters, so I drew Mr. Snuffleupagus, and I drew the Count. And I added 100 there because the Count loves to count. That's his favorite thing to do. And I thought probably we're not going to do 45 days of this. We might even get to 100 days of sketching together. So just put that there as a possibility, and for me to be really thinking creatively about what might things look like after 45 days of sketching. So yesterday we were drawing birds, and I was drawing my chicken, or the chicken image that I had found, and I just wanted to show you where I'm at with it now. I had a lot of fun with layering color, so I used a lot of different colors, not necessarily the colors that were in the image that I was working from, but color that that I really saw as I worked into it. I used different types of lines, shading and value, as well as just a lot of texture created by the line to get that impression of feathers. So all art is always about creating an impression. We're not creating the real thing, right? If we wanted that, we'd just take a photograph to get that realistic impression. So we're just really having fun with what we can do with our art and pushing the possibilities. So I hope that you're finding you're pushing your own possibilities, that you're becoming a better artist, and also you're really in tune with what you're making, and that you love the images that you're seeing. I think that's a true sign of a great artist, when you can connect to your image and really appreciate how you're growing as an artist. So I know each of you are growing as artists, because if you had the courage to pick up a pencil, open the sketchbook, and start making art, no matter if you are a beginner, if you haven't made art in 60 years, or if you make art every day and you think, some of these prompts are too simple for me. Wherever you're at in your art journey, in your creativity, it takes courage. And so thank you for doing that. And I hope you're getting to that place where you see the growth in your work every day. So today we are going to talk about togetherness. And I really struggled with this. I asked people, what does together mean to you? When I thought of together initially, I thought of my 3 chickens. Thought, well, I don't want to draw them again right away the next day. So I thought further, and I thought my girls to me mean together. I love seeing them together. I love taking images of them together. And yet I didn't want to create an image of them quite yet. I wanted to work with maybe other ideas of what is togetherness. So I thought of some images from art history about togetherness, and so here's what I came up with. I think that this image, one of the most iconic images, lunch atop a skyscraper, and this was accredited to the wrong person initially for actually many, many years. It wasn't until, and I wrote that down somewhere, it wasn't until 2003. So this was taken in the 40s. In 2003, it was accredited to the right person, and the photographer was Charles C. Ebbets. And so for all those years, how is that possible? Well, records get lost, but when a photo is as iconic as these men atop this beam of a skyscraper having lunch, so it's believed that the owners of this skyscraper, the builders of this skyscraper, probably staged this photograph for an advertisement. But yes, these guys were really skyscraper builders, and they were really having their lunch, and they were out there, and you can see just how casual they seem to be, and they're 840 feet above Rockefeller Plaza in New York City. So I thought that's a great image, iconic image of togetherness. One of my all-time favorites, and you probably recognize this. This is Migrant Worker by Dorothea Lange. And so I want to talk about this image because it really ties into art therapy, I believe. So art therapy sometimes is confused with the idea that an art therapist will interpret your drawings, interpret your art, your paintings, but that's not true. Art therapists help you create art. They help you tell the story of your art. They help you find meaning in your art, and also to help you get out those emotions and stories and feelings that are, you know, inside and that you need to share. I don't, as an art therapist, interpret art, but I think that like any image, we have our own idea of what that means. So there are a lot of misconceptions about this photograph, probably the most iconic photograph of the Great Depression, called Migrant Worker. And this was taken by Dorothea Lange, and Dorothea Lange was hired by the United States government to take photos during the Great Depression. And she happened to be driving with her friend, a driver, and they passed a migrant camp, and they were passing it. They were a couple miles down the road, and Dorothea Lange decided to turn around and go back to try to get some more shots to capture the Great Depression. She thought maybe this was the place. Now, what we probably believed over time is that this mother and her two daughters here, who are hiding their heads, was working at this camp. And that's kind of how I think it's been portrayed for many, many years. That's not the case. What happened is this woman, and this is Florence Owens Thompson, her car broke down, her radiator went out, she was with her partner, and she has 7 children. And their car broke down, and what she did while he went to town to get the equipment to fix the radiator is she set up camp and made food for her children. So I always believed that, and probably you may have believed, that she was on break from picking all day. She was a migrant worker, and she picked a lot of things throughout the South through those days of the Great Depression. She did a lot of jobs, but at this PE camp was not her job. And so I thought that was amazing. I always thought that, you know, she lived here at this camp, at this pea picking camp. So Dorothea Lange took 7 photos, only 7 photos, when they turned that car around, went back, took 7 photos. Many of this family, many of those 7 of this family, she sent it off to Washington, D.C., and the rest is history. This photo became an image, an icon of the Great Depression, and really captures that. Whatever it is you read into that. But a mother and her children from the Great Depression. And so it wasn't until 42 years later, so this is, remember, 1936, 42 years later, a photographer, a journalist, came to talk to Florence, visit her at her home, when the photographer and journalist showed her this photograph from 1936 taken by Dorothea Lange. And the woman had never known or seen this in 42 years. And now it's an image we see everywhere and have since those days of 1936. So I thought that was amazing that for 42 years she didn't know how famous she really was and how she captured that time in American culture. And then the other image I think of is Seurat's image of a picnic. So it's not in color, but this would be in great color. And Seurat, someone here, a resident here, said Seurat used dots. So if you always remember that, Seurat was the dot artist. He used stippling in his art. So when I think of togetherness, I think of a picnic day, and this is a really beautiful example of a picnic day. So I'm going to draw a quick picnic day as we're here together, and I'm going to think about Seurat. I'm not going to add any stippling or any use of line other than just my basic line to get me started. So those are my ideas that I thought from art history of togetherness. And I was telling someone earlier, I don't know what I'm going to draw until I sit down and draw it with you, so bear with me because I never really know. So I guess I'm going to draw a picnic scene of some sort. And so like always, I just start getting my lines in there. This is going to look really, really simple. It's just going to be lines. I am going to borrow from Surratt. I love his use of the women with umbrellas. So I'm going to put an umbrella in here with my person. Okay, so really simple, right? Really simple, no detail, but I'm going to change that up as I work. I'm going to add other things to these people. I'm going to add clothes. I'm going to add character. For right now, they're just a bunch of stick people hanging out together. I'm going to add a tree in the background here. This is going to be in Surratt's picture. He has full trees. So if this were a park in spring or a park in summer or fall, the trees would be like they are out our windows right now, really full and beautiful. I'm going to put down here, I'm going to put some little children. And maybe when I'm done, they'll be playing a game of checkers. My daughters like to play this floor game of checkers. My 6-year-old Zoe is really talented at checkers. She beats most people all the time. It's a little frustrating for Bronte as she plays her. Okay, so there it is. Togetherness. Simple, right? And it looks like I didn't take any time on that at all. And I didn't. But it lays out my ideas of togetherness, kind of drawing from Surratt's image. I'm going to actually think about the use of line. So think about that too. What kind of use of line can you use? Little hatch marks. Can you use stippling where it's just that dot over and over and over to create that impression? Think about how you use lines and how you can use lines to create different effects and different values in your work. Okay, have a great day. Thank you so much. I'll see you again on Monday when we have more art to do. Remember, send your images to me at jennifer.bethel@oakwoodvillage.net. Give me a call, 230-4324. And if you're having any problems with the sound or the quality of the image on channel 900 and you have a computer at home, go to YouTube and enter Sketching with Jennifer and you'll be able to find all of the videos there. Okay? Remember, YouTube, Sketching with Jennifer, and I'll see you again on Monday morning. Have a great weekend.